Today we're going to learn how to use confectionery molds to make beautiful resin figurines, and I'm starting with this peacock green that I just spilled all over the place because I was not expecting that cute little plastic spoon to literally go boing on me like a spring the moment I pulled it out. Oh man. Well, I guess you can safely say that I covered my surface area. Man, though, that bugs me. That is one of my favorite greens, the peacock green. It's so vibrant and pretty. And I chose it for my mermaid tail for that very purpose. And this is me being miserly with my mica powder because I hate to waste everything. So here's a little preview of a future video you're going to get, because I'm definitely not wasting that. It's just too good a green to waste. Definitely going to go ahead and put it to use. And in another video, we're going to finish this seahorse. Now back to our mermaid. So these confection molds are also made out of silicone. And I had a little brainstorm in the baking aisle of all places one day when I was holding these different molds for icings and cakes. And I'm like, wait a minute. Molds that I use for resin crafts are made out of silicones. Wouldn't this work just the same way? And the question is actually yes it does. And one of the things I've noticed about these really gummy molds is that everything sticks to it really well, which is both a blessing and a curse. There's no way, by the way, if you're going to paint one of these small molds to not make a mess. It's just you're working in too small a space. Ask anyone that's ever lived in a small room. Smaller spaces are harder to keep clean, and that holds true of our molds. So keep your alcohol and your cotton swabs handy. Now I got that cleaned up a little bit. I'm just going to make sure I got everything. And I'm going to try to hold the mold as much of an angle towards the camera as I can, while still being able to see what I'm doing myself. And all I'm doing is just stretching it a little bit, because those molds are very flexible, and just making sure that I've got everything. Even if some of your mold is still showing, the chances are good that you got it, but I just like to be super sure and go in and blend. So I want to add some blue now. Some of this dark kind of violet blue to the tail, because I had decided I didn't want the tail to be completely green. I want to have a little bit of fun with it. And I'm just going to use this brush with this edge to get into those cracks very well. So as you can see, it's really easy to miss a spot here and there underneath the lip. So yeah, this is a little bit more labor intensive than painting the bigger molds you've seen me paint. You have to be a little bit more meticulous and a lot more patient. And as you're going to see as I move further along in this video, it's a lot of putting down mica powder and then cleaning with alcohol, because again, it's very hard, especially when you have to rotate the mold constantly to be able to see what you're doing, not to get little pieces of powder falling in places where you may not necessarily want them to go. What I do actually like about these is how well they hold on to color, because they're so sticky. And yep, I'm gonna have to go in and clean a little bit with an alcohol and a Q-tip. Just really make sure that I'm getting that area clear of green where I want to put down the skin color. Wipe, wipe, wipe. Now, speaking of skin color, I did not have any flesh powdered mica powder, so this was a little experiment I had to do where I had to actually mix colors to make my own skin tone. And I used a pure white with a kind of bronze sort of color. I think it might have been a rose gold, actually, a rose gold and a white, so I could start getting that kind of peachy tone. And I really did feel like I was baking a cake a little bit, or getting ingredients together for some dry rub. It's kind of funny. I'm gonna go in and take a break from that and fill in that star on her hair. And I use that claret color for that. And again, working in small areas makes a mess, so expect this to happen, is all I'm saying. But that's what Q-tips and alcohol are for. Now I'm going to put down a little bit of that skin color that I made. See how that skin tone goes. It doesn't look too bad. I've seen worse. I wish I had had an actual skin tone to work with, but we'll see how this turns out. Just gonna get her arm is on the side there. So I want to make sure I get her arm and her fingers. And again, I love how these molds hold this so well. Clean up a little bit again. And I'm gonna get a little bit of punk rock with her hair. I wanna add a little bit of this sort of aquamarine bluish color that I'm going to eventually blend in with some blonde, but I wanna make sure that I get it in the tips of her hair for sure. I'm also gonna give a shout out to someone that I'll either have to put in text when I edit this video or link their channel, because I watched this other guy paint a smaller mold like this, and one of the things he did was spray silicone mold release into the mold, and that's another thing that helped the colors really stay in there really good, so shout out to him. I'm sorry that I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I'm really terrible with that, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due and give you a shout out because that was really helpful. I had to go out kind of away from my art room and spritz that in there because I really didn't want to be breathing in the fumes while I worked on this. Proper ventilation always when you're working on this. And now we've got the yellow for her hair color. Now I'm gonna have to turn this, oh man, mica powder is messy, y'all. I see some people do these videos and they're like, they're so professional. They don't have like a blotch of paint or powder or anything on them. And that's just, since I was a small child, that has not been possible with me. I make a mess. So I'm gonna get in there really good. This is an exercise for your hands, by the way. I'm really having to squeeze and hold this in place to kind of get in these fine details, but I want to make sure that I get that blonde color that I'm going for and blend it in good with the blue. It's kind of interesting. I had never actually tried mixing mica powders together until I did this video and I needed to make a skin tone. And I also kind of see where I'm having to be careful because I feel like the edges of my yellow and blue are turning a little bit green. But I'm not too fussed about it. I think that's just going to make a cooler effect in the end. And I had to lift the skin away because that's actually her little clamshell bra that I filled in with that purple. Again, alcohol and Q-tips, keep them handy. That looks about right, I think. But I don't want to waste that skin color that I made. So I decided in the course of making this video that I was going to make another one. Now this one, I'm sorry if I can't get the camera angles exactly towards the camera. I'm going to do my best, but this is also a small mold, and I definitely have to tilt that to where I can see what I'm doing, because she's laying a little bit more on her side than the other one was. And I'm going to do the skin first and make sure that I get her face. Get the little areas by her hair. I don't know if you can see from the mold, but her hair actually wraps around near her tail. I have a couple of these that I actually would like to paint and do. I can't get as deep into this as I'd like because I'll be going on vacation soon, and I'll probably be posting this video while I'm on vacation, just so that my channel has something happening for it while I'm away. I'm gonna take that blue color, it looks really nice. And I'm gonna blend in a lighter blue with that darker blue. I want to try something a little bit different with the tail and give us some more color variation on that one. I really liked that wine claret color on the starfish I did on the first one, but the starfish was so small. It's really not going to have much of a chance to shine, so I think I'm going to make that the end of her tail. I really do like that color. I'm just going to blend that in on the end there. And once again, get into all the little cracks. And I'm going to lift a little bit of color away with this alcohol and Q-tip, because I want to see how it will come out if I put a little bit of that claret color in between the blue. That way we give the scales a little bit more variation, and I'm going to clean up the hair area as I do that. And there we go. I think that's going to come out pretty cool. I'm crossing my fingers. Now the irony of this color is actually called Mermaid Pink, and I just could not resist testing it out for this piece. Ooh, that actually looks a lot better, a lot shinier than I thought it was going to look. Again, I'm doing my best to show as much as I can on the camera, but I have to tilt this at an angle where I can see. That's the curse of these smaller molds, other than you have to constantly be cleaning. It is very much worth it, though. I swear there's something almost relaxing about coloring the little individual grooves of the hair. And I swear, y'all, I really do clean my molds. I do. But when I was talking about how easy these pink confection molds pick up mica powder, well, they pick up everything else. So if you have cats around, yeah, don't leave your art supplies anywhere near where your animals are. These things are going to pick up every hair. Starting to really like how this is coming together. I almost like this one better than the first one I started. And now we're gonna pour. And all I did was mix in a pearlescent mica powder for the pouring. And that's good for that one. And I'm probably gonna have to mix a little bit more for this second one, but that's okay. Let's see. Yep, I'll need a little bit more, but that's a small, very easily fixable thing. Moment of truth. Time jump, y'all. Bam! Oh my gosh, that actually came out. I mean, the skin came out more ivory than I thought, but it works. I'm just gonna trim. Just need a small bit of scissors to trim away some of that unwanted. I really do love that hair color even more now. I'm gonna be using it on another project soon, I know it. And the tail came out great. For a moment, I was afraid I had lost this demolding. I'm so glad I actually found the footage. Didn't delete it. And like before, I'm just going to kind of come with my scissors and kind of just pluck around the kind of thin sort of film cleaning to it. There we go. Just snipping a little bit more. I'm glad this is the kind of stuff I don't really need to get out a sanding Dremel for. It's so thin. Just take some scissors and kind of, it'll peel off on its own. Can tell that my scissors, like everything else in my art studio, is very well loved. I'm messy, y'all. I know what to say, but look what comes out of my mess. This is adorable. I love it. Show another close-up in different light. Amazing thing about this is that these are literally made for icing for cake decorations, and I could have done the starfish a little better, but that's all right. This is what you can do with them if you have a little bit of time and some skill with resin. Let's see this one again in brighter light. Oh, I really love how this one came out. I like them both, but this is my favorite.